Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today, I want to talk about movement. I want to spawn off of my last video about consistency and talk about movement. If you look around you, everything in the world is constantly in motion. And if it's not in motion, it becomes stagnant. Think about water. Stagnant water, non-moving water becomes stagnant. It gets mosquito larvae, it gets parasites, it gets all of that kind of stuff in it. So think about this. Water in it, just think about water. Water starts out, we'll say, as a raindrop. Raindrop collects, forms a stream. The stream forms a river. The river it gets into something bigger, and it all goes all the way out into the ocean. So there's constant movement. The earth is rotating. It's constantly moving. Without it, we wouldn't have the seasons. We wouldn't have the weather. We wouldn't have any of that. When it comes to us as people, think about movement. Why is it important that we move and we're constantly moving? Because if we don't move, we get fat, we get lazy, we get sedentary, is I think is the term. In life in general, we have to constantly move. Now, where does this go into my fitness journey? Years ago when I started in physical fitness back in the late 90s, and beyond that, there has always come about with these fitness crazes or bits and pieces of fitness equipment that, I remember that one of the big ones was, I think it was called the ab roller, where you laid down on the floor and you did this thing and you did a crunch of sort. And everybody laughed. Oh, they don't do anything. They don't do this. They don't do that. They may not have been effective, but what they did is they made people move. Think about all the crazy aerobics and TRX and this and that. The people that truly embraced those programs, they moved. Because they moved, things changed. For me, I spend 4 days a week in the gym, 3 to 4 days a week. My daughter and I, we try to limit it to an hour. Could I spend hours and hours in the gym? Absolutely. But nobody wants to spend that kind of time, because for me, and I don't know about you, I spend, we'll say 9.5 hours a day at work. I spend 2 hours a day on the road, back and forth to work. By the time I get home, go to the gym, get back, try and get a good 6 to 8 hours of sleep, you don't have any time. So I try and limit it to an hour. So what do I do to supplement? Here at work, I work in a machine shop. I grab oddball pieces of steel, or like I'll show you these boxes. This box weighs about 5 pounds. It's steel. So what do I do with these? I grab these and I supplement with what I do at the gym. It's movement, people. It's consistency, constantly in motion. If you're not hitting your goals in the gym, if you're not hitting your goals in life, you need to push. You need to constantly move. Find that next that footstep. Continuously move. And there was a video that I watched years ago, and it's stuck in my mind. It was called 212. And get on YouTube, look it up. 212. And it talks about water. At 211 degrees, water is still water. At 212 degrees, water begins to boil. When water begins to boil, it creates steam. What do we use steam for? Trains, power plants, things like that. With steam creates power, which creates energy. Look at the video. It's a great video. I'm not going to get into hardcore detail with it. But think about it. Get up off the couch. Get up out of your chair if you sit at work. Move. Walk. But when you walk, don't just walk. Walk with purpose. When you're doing anything, if you're in a physical labored job, do what you're going to do with purpose. That little bit of extra effort is what gets you ahead. It's what's going to help you hit your fitness goals. It's going to make you hit your life goals. If your life goal is to become a doctor, what do you got to do? You got to work towards it. You can't just go, yep, I'm going to be a doctor. No, you have to work towards it. If you want to be a lawyer, same deal. You got to work towards it. You have to put the effort in. Put the effort in everything you do in life. You'll get where you need to be. And with that, thank you for your time. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. I know the air quality this week is crazy right now, but stay safe, stay kind, be good to one another. Thanks again.